What's up, guys? Taylor going here. This is day 12, my diet and training log. I've got like 650 milliliters of orange juice with about 40 grams of honey sitting at the bottom. I'm going to scoop that out with a spoon. Ooh. Eat that at the end for my carbs today. It's a little over 100 grams. Two, well, kind of three things. I remembered what I wanted to say in my video yesterday. I figured out what happened and why I went hypoglycemic so bad in that last training session. And it was because I'm an idiot and I got stoned while I was doing my fucking video and eating my carbs. And I just thought I ate all my carbs as I was gathering all my shit to go to the gym, and I only ate about half of them. So I came home and saw him sitting there on the counter, and I was like, oh, whoops, LOL. So, anyways, we won't let that happen again. On to the next thing. I said yesterday that today I wanted to go for a hard set on Axel. It's going to be my last Axel clean and press session before the show, and I'm going to put that on next week's session because I'm still feeling very beat up, and there's other things that I can do. The next thing I want to talk about is different progressions and how to adjust them, because really, as long as we get the all of the required workouts in before the show, it doesn't matter what order they go in. So today I'm actually going to hang snatch again, and it's the fourth week of my hang snatch progression, which is a down week. So I've ascended. I've done a 5 rep max, a 3 rep max, a 2 rep max. Now I'm going to go, well, it was actually a 1 rep max, but that final week I go 1 to 2 reps, heavy as possible. And then week 4 is 80% of your top set from week 3 for 8 to 12 singles, just really hammering the technical breakdown points of the previous 3 weeks. And the nice thing about the snatch and this progression is I don't need to cue myself or obsess that much about my technique. As long as I'm being pretty honest with my numbers, and as long as I'm sticking to that fourth down week, really intentional about catching in full depth, and really making sure each rep is perfect technique. Because of the nature of the snatch, it's equal amount of fast as it is down in terms of the hips. So when you have a lift like that, there that's kind of your like highest amount of neurological feedback combined with agility, combined with power output. So this very perfect sweet spot for developing, not only developing better technique in the snatch, but the snatch is such a fundamental lift, especially from the hang position, that you're going to get better at being able to get better at techniques. You're just going to become a more proficient lifter. So that's why I really, really like the hang snatch, especially for strongman, but even for powerlifters and even some cases some bodybuilders. I don't think I think it's actually very beneficial to do some sort of work that's equal amount of explosive as it is reactive on the way down. So to talk about these progressions, I've had, let's just talk in terms of, 3 to 4 week progressions, because past that it starts to become a little bit linear, and you want to cycle your progressions. You want to find something where you can kind of go like this rather than just trying to figure out how to go like that. So, a great example is like 5-3-1 down week, right? And then add a little bit to everything and repeat the cycle. And you just keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this and just accumulate and compound good quality volume and heavy work. So I'm going to show a couple progressions here. My first, and I'm getting to a point here because this is how I really like to peak athletes for max events and shows. So let's say we're doing just a simple progression like that. Back down, 1, 2. three, right down. Okay, so it kind of looks like that, right? Where you're laddering up, and after this fourth week, you're going down, but this down is slightly higher than this down, and then you keep going. So eventually, it's this nice kind of upward trajectory wave, right? Another very common progression is I think this was actually the Cuban weightlifting team came up with this in like the 70s and 80s, and it's called a step progression, where you basically do a down week followed by 2 weeks that are similar into a down week, and then 2 weeks that are the same, and then a down week, and then 2 weeks that are similar, and then down week. So these are 3 week cycles, and it kind of looks like that, where you have down week, boom, boom. I'm assuming there's several different ways that you can like run this, because it doesn't have to be the same weight. It could be a change in variation or a match in intensity or something like that. But let's just say, for the sake of whatever, we're 75% here, 80%, 80%, 77.5%, 87, 85%. You get what I'm saying? So these 2 weeks stay the same, and it's basically like this second week, make it easier than this week, and then we'll go back down, do the same thing. And so it just kind of looks like that. You can stagger, so you know you can go heavy, medium low, very heavy, down week, and it can kind of look something like that. It's hard to see. So like starting here, down, poop, poop. So it looks like this, and then into the next one, you have slightly heavier, slightly heavier, slightly heavier, slightly heavier. So go like this. Okay. So you can have stagger progressions like this. And you can do those in any order that you want, which leads me into my example of how I really like to peak max events. This doesn't always work with powerlifting because there's 3 max events. So it does work implemented in the right circumstances, but let's just talk strongman and or testing a single lift. Okay. So like I showed, this is our very pure ascending progression, right? Super basic. How I might set that up in training is week 1, your down week, go for a 10 rep max, because a 10 rep max, it might be max effort, but that weight is going to be like under 75%, so it constitutes as a good down week. And then find a 5 rep max, find a 3 rep max, find a 1 rep max, repeat. Okay. So let's say you're doing this perfect style of progressions leading into a meet, right? 12 weeks out. So 12 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 7, 4, 5 or 4 weeks out. Anyways, you can reverse the order, right? Because if you get on this cyclical pattern of things, your body's just ready to do that. So how you can reverse that and make it a nice peak is, let's say you do a couple progressions like this, right? You're just on this nice system of, I kind of fucked that third one up, but you're just gradually inclining. If I were to draw a line like that, you're kind of going at that steady incline. You can just reverse the order. So what I would like to do is use the 4th week as your week of rest, your deload week before the meet, and descend into the meet. So 3 weeks out, you have your heaviest attempt, which would normally be the 4th week or the 3rd week, depending on how you set it up. So you get your heaviest attempt, and then you descend, and then you descend, and then you deload, and then you hit the meet. Okay? And as long as you're programmed and on a healthy cyclical thing, even if you're on a step progression, you can still access any of these other progressions and line them up and time them however you want. So that's a really good way to guarantee PRs and guarantee accurate testing is you make your progressions cyclical and you make them the same or the same-ish, right? Every 3 or 4 week block has the same components and you're hitting the same types of percentages and intensities and cycling that. Once you get through 2 or 3 cycles of that, even, 4, 5, 6, the more the better, but the more you program yourself to this cyclical nature of things, of progression, that's how you fucking guarantee platform PRs. You just, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like that's too simple to explain, but hopefully you got the idea here. Let me know if you want any questions, because I could talk for hours about different progressions like that. There's a lot more to go into. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go train my hang snatch, and next week or the following week will probably be my one last hard axle session.